Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Hot Topics, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, around 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so glad that you're here with us this morning. We have a lot to talk about, and some things I'm really happy about. Finally, sheesh, I see that. Who said that in the chat? I know, you're right. So finally, yes. So thank you. Let me know where you're streaming from this morning. Aloha, Don, from Salinas, California. Hi. Aloe. Thank you. I know. I feel like in a minute, it's about damn time. Guys, someone said Cory Booker in the chat, didn't you? Yes, we're going to talk about that. Good morning, Boo. Morning, Boo. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, I'm glad that you're here. I hope that you... I think we talked about it yesterday. I hope that you saw the fabulous article on us in the New York Times talking about our little elimination, our big elimination, and what we do, what we're doing here on the elimination. So, the New York Times loves us now. And so we're getting bigger. We're powerful. We're stronger. We're famous. We are the elimination. But a couple things I want to talk about. Okay, including what you guys are saying. Yes, yes, yes. Cory Booker, 15 and a half hours. Let's show the Cory Booker, since you guys are going there already. This is Cory Booker. Cory Booker's now on the Senate floor, and he is, put him up there. There he is. Well, he's going 15 and a half hours right now.
Celebrate the senator.
I just want to listen to him. And folks are helping him out. His fellow senators are helping him out. Amy Klobuchar was up earlier asking him questions, trying to get him to keep going so he can get some water, rest his voice. Can you imagine
here last night at 6:30,
for going that long?
I do wonder.
He started at 7 o'clock last night.
Speechathon at 6:30, whether the bob and the weave and the
was it 6:30 he started? Let's see.
Quite as strong, or was he firmly attached to the podium? The fact that you are going on more than 12 hours now and look like you've got hours ahead and hours before you sleep, and knowing that there are other members who've got a question, including the majority leader. I just want to be brief with mine. You've talked a lot with great passion about the damage done domestically. As chairman of the Intelligence Committee, now vice chairman, I have been aghast.
Now, here's the thing. He said he's going to be brief. Brief is a quick question. These guys love to hear themselves talk. They can't help themselves.
In terms of their treatment of classified information.
He loves to hear himself talk.
First 2 weeks of the administration.
We hear from Senator Cory Booker, dude.
A couple hundred CIA agents' identities were revealed on a non-classified chain.
All right. Should we get back to Cory? You guys want me to wait? Because this dude is just going on and on and on.
The American government spent
we get back to Cory Booker, sir?
On each of them. You got to get a security clearance. You got to get them trained. Unfortunately, these folks can't deploy abroad. They can't deploy undercover because their names were carelessly.
These guys love to hear themselves talk. You know what I'm saying?
You say, well, that went just a
so I say Cory Booker. Go Cory. But you know what? I think he's probably just trying to help him out to give him a break. Is that what it is? Cory may need a break. You're right.
Of federal properties that should be for sale. They quickly take it down a few hours later.
I know the senator's name. I can't. If you guys in the chat tell me.
Putting up that list, they put on.
I think that's Mark Warner.
Yeah, Mark Warner.
But the American government, again.
I thought it was Cory. Get back to Cory. Cory might have a break. But.
Or more recently as well, the Doge boys, either ignorantly or maliciously, either one just plain
Senator
stupid.
Warner.
Put out the list of a classified agency, its budget, total head count, again,
from Virginia,
all classified information. And Senator, one thing I can tell you, and I know you know this as well, if this had happened to a line intelligence officer or a line military officer, there'd be no question. Your butt would be fired.
Well, Cory's going, yes, yes. Cory's like, okay, bro, I got it.
There'd been a DHS employee who
this is my moment.
Inadvertently put a journalist on a chat line. Guess what happened? The guy's fired. So when it came to this incident, now called Signalgate, or Signalgate fiasco,
Am I putting you guys back to sleep?
Members of this administration debating.
I know Corey's taking a break. We're having a little fun, guys. Come on, we're having our coffee. By the way, how are you? Let me know where you're streaming from this morning. This is good. I'm glad Cory Booker's doing it, and we're going to talk about it. I just wanted to see Cory up there. So there's something that's on my mind this morning.
These were the communities that.
All right, we'll get back to this. Let's take it down. Okay, so there's something that's on my mind this morning that really bothers me. And again, don't get me wrong. I'm going to get back to Cory Booker because I think Cory Booker is doing what he can. Lots of folks are out there saying, "What are the Democrats doing? What are we doing?" We're going to check back in on Cory when he's talking. Okay, Signalgate. So this is what's on my mind this morning. Couple things. Okay, so let me just tell you where we're going, and then I'll tell you where I want to start. So good morning, everyone. Welcome. Let me know where you're streaming from. Good morning from Long Beach. Hi, Lisa. Good morning. I'm in Florida. Fingers crossed, says Tina Pope. We're going to talk about that, Tina. So what's happening where you are. So fingers crossed. Jacksonville, Florida. Vivian. Florida, you better go to the damn polls today and vote, okay? And Wisconsin. So you have been begging Democrats to fight back. You have been begging Democrats to do something. And finally, it appears they're hearing you, right? Denver, Mark Sandstrom, they're hearing you. Wanda Bridges from Chicago, it looks like they're hearing you. Chantel ZP, holding this space for Cory. Thank you, Don. I'm holding the space. I wish we had a little tiny box. Let me see if I can figure out. Where's the Cory Booker box? Put Cory up there. Let's see what we can do with him. Let's see. Put it back up. Let me see. Just a silent live picture of Cory Booker. And then we're going to talk about it. We have Cory. Okay, let's see if we could do, how do we get Cory in my little box? I screwed that up, Nikki. How do we get Cory in my little box? And then we put me in the big box. There's Cory. Let's see what he's saying. Can we hear him?
But the sloppiness, the unqualified leaders that he's put in place, it has caused us to be more at risk. And the Signalgate, you said it. If that had happened under any other president, Republican or Democrat, whoever controlled the Senate would have hearings. They would want to know, was this pattern in practice? Did these Signal conversations happen before and we only know about this one because it's somehow you pulled in a journalist?
By the way, this is Cory Booker's social media page.
This
is his TikTok.
Government
Senator Booker TikTok.
The executive branch has a legal obligation. And the classified materials, putting it out there, first saying, oh, there was nothing classified about that, lying. And then they put out the actual, said, okay, if there's nothing classified, they release the whole thing. And to the wisdom of people like you, and again, more wisdom and experience at Intel than me, it's clearly that was sensitive, probably classified, but we should be having hearings and accountability. I keep going back to how this document is being undermined and attacked by this president. And one of the powers and responsibilities that we swore to uphold, every one of us swore to uphold this, was that we are to be a check on the administration. Before I yield to the next question from Senator Schumer, I want to talk about Senator Schumer. I just want to say something, get it off my chest. Senator Murphy, we've passed the 15-hour mark. I want to thank Senator Murphy in particular because he's been with me the whole night. He hasn't left my side. And in some ways, the debt's repaid. We passed 15 hours because we called Chuck Schumer 9 years ago. 9 years ago. I remember exactly where I was standing when three of us were on the phone and we asked Chuck to help us for you to take the floor right down there and do a fill-up. We didn't know how long it was going to last, but I committed to you that I would be your aide de camp. 15 hours you stood, Chris Murphy, saying that this nation shouldn't do business as usual for the Pulse massacre. And the leader of the Senate 9 years ago said, I support you guys, go ahead. And so one of the first people I called, Senator Schumer, and talked to about this actually was Murphy. And he did full circle for me and has been with me the whole 15 hours. His debt is paid, but I got fuel in the tank, man. And the only reason you stopped wasn't because you couldn't go on anymore. It was because we got a concession for Mitch McConnell. We got a concession to get 2 votes on common sense gun safety that Republicans had put forward, like universal background checks in the past, but we lost that vote. But in both occasions, 9 years apart, once where Murphy was the principal, and now here we had a leader that said, yeah, how can I help? And so I want to thank Senator Schumer before I suspect he might ask me to yield for a question for being a friend, a partner, and one of the first people I turned to with this idea and that encouraged me to go for it, Corey. And so thank you, Chuck Schumer.
Would the senator yield for a question?
I yield for a question while retaining the floor.
And I have 2 questions, frankly, one on Medicaid cuts, which we talked about last night, and one on tariffs. But first, let me say before I get to this question, your strength, your fortitude, your clarity has just been nothing short of amazing.
So look, I had intended to do something different, but we have Chuck Schumer now, who has really been under fire for what he's been doing, and now he is helping Cory Booker out. He's been
of this administration.
He said Senator Murphy, Booker said Senator Murphy's been there by his side the entire time. Schumer has been there, I don't know about the entire time, but how do you guys feel
one end of America to the
about
other admire you?
Schumer, who's helping him out? Yeah, I know I was muted. I was talking to TikTok. Thank you for telling me I was muted. I didn't want you guys to hear what I was saying.
The list of adjectives could go on.
But make sure you guys hit the thumbs up, please, so more people get to experience our show. More people get to hear us and see us. And so make sure you hit the thumbs up, hit the like, and subscribe. Our membership link is at the top of the chat. Subscriptions are free. The memberships are extremely reasonable. So make sure you do that. So thank you for all of that.
Clear that the Medicaid cuts that are proposed.
Schumer is helping Cory Booker out by giving him a little bit of a reprieve. Senator Mark Warner did it earlier. So he's trying to help. Do you guys want to hear from Schumer? What do y'all think? I like he's helping him out, but I mean, do you want to hear?
300 people would lose their jobs, hundreds would be thrown out, and most of them said their children can't take care of them. It's their needs are more advanced. And even some who said their children might be able to take care of them didn't have room in the house, etc. So it's affecting Staten Island's a middle class, voted for Trump. But we made a plea to their congresswoman to not vote for any bill that had these Medicaid cuts and the tax breaks for billionaires.
Okay, so we'll get back to Chuck Schumer. You guys, Chuck, thank you for helping out. You know, Chuck, hey, look, I love you. Let me fix this. We love that your service that you've had to the Senate. We appreciate all of that, but we're not into what's going on right now. I'm not into it. I think you caved. You did it for whatever reasons, whatever. Okay, so we're going to keep an eye. I wish there was something. Nikki, can we do the little box, me in big box, Senate floor in the little box? Is there any way to flip it?
Not. I'm sorry. We would need Andrew with OBS for that.
What about this one? What about this one right here? What's that one?
That we would need to make
layer 8, layout 8. How does that work?
Hold on. Let me reshare the other thing.
Yeah. Oh, what about that one? No, we can't do that. Well, we want Cory Booker in the little. All right, you do your thing. I'm screwing this up. I'm messing this up. The last layout, would that work or no? That just makes me smaller. So there's no way to flip them, right? You can't flip them. That's okay. But anyway, so we'll move on. So let me tell you. So there's a lot going on. So finally, they appear to be hearing you, meaning your lawmakers are hearing you, right? New Jersey Senator Cory Booker has taken over the Senate chamber. He has now been filibustering for 15 and a half hours, almost 16 hours now, calling out the Trump administration's lawless actions. And that's why our thumbnail says lawless, because this is a lawless administration. Remember, this is a president who has been convicted of crimes. This is a felon president, okay? This president is a convicted felon, all right? And is in a civil case, liable a sexual abuser in a civil case. So those are the facts. May not sit well with some of you. You may not like it, but that is the truth. That is the truth, and that is who you voted for, and that is who you put in office. Someone who is civilly liable for sexual abuse and 34 counts, criminal counts, guilty felon. Okay? He's calling out Trump deporting innocent legal residents at an El Salvadorian prison camp. That's the thing that's bothering me. He's calling out the insanity over the Trump tariffs. That is coming tomorrow. He's calling out billionaires like none other than Elon Musk, who's reportedly paying for votes, right? Billionaires who are reportedly paying for votes in today's special elections. That's who he is calling out. People like that. He's on the Senate floor. He's holding it. What difference what is it going to make? Is it going to make a difference? What is it going to do? I don't know, and you don't either. But you cannot fault people and say, nobody's doing anything. Nobody's doing anything. What are you doing? No, nobody. You can't fault them. And then when they do something, say, well, what is it going to do? The man is doing something. He's bringing attention, and you are here, and everyone around the country is saying, go, Corey, go, Corey. So what is that doing? It's bringing attention, and it's also motivating people. At least it is a motivating force. Thumbs up, please. Hit the likes. Also, thank you this morning. Let me just call some people out because I just want to make sure that you guys know how much we appreciate you. I don't think you've known so far. I have been lax in doing it. Happy Tuesday, Don and team, to everyone in the chat. Baby, Pitt, and me, thank you for your very generous support of independent media. We haven't forgotten Signalgate. Maggots tried to distract them. Maggots tried to distract them with third-term headlines. So thank you, golden time of the day, for your generous support of independent media. Thank you for being a member, okay? I appreciate you so much. Baby Pitt and me, thank you, as I've said. Because of Chantel ZP's generous, very, very generous nature, her generosity, 10 people get to become members of the Lemon Nation. So thank you for that, okay? We appreciate it. Sarah Guest, welcome as a new member to the Lemon Nation. Welcome to all of our members. Listen, the reason that we are able to stay out in these streets is because of people like Heavenly Keys and LaToya Barber and all the folks who are becoming members. And for Faye 0901, I looked at some of the membership tiers for some other folks. Flo, I'm sure you looked at them. Our memberships are extremely reasonable. Jordan, I looked at some of them like, wow, these people are, their memberships are crazy. We have more engagement and more people, and our people are loyal and dogged, and they are lemon heads, and they love being part of the Lemon Nation. Twinkie67, go Corey. Yes, thank you for your support. So become a member. Make sure you hit that subscribe button that's at the bottom of the screen right next to the Don Lemon Show logo. And we will continue on. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. And the engagement is amazing. I love you guys. Also, check out my story in the New York Times that talks about us. We'll put it up and we'll read some of it, some stuff from there, so you get to know just how loved and just how mighty the Lemon Nation is. We are going on our friends over at the Mighty Midas Touch. We are following in their footsteps. We're on their shoulders. They're friends of ours. We're friends of theirs. They helped me out in this space when I came into this space initially, and they're helping me out now. So we love the Midas Touch, and they love us. So we're on the shoulders of them and following in their footsteps, and we're going to have our own nation. They've got their own nation. We've got our own nation as well over here on the Don Lemon Show and the Don Lemon Show channel. So check that out. Also, go to donlemon.com. Go to donlemon.com and become a member or subscribe to my Substack. It's easy. Just go to donlemon.com, donlemon.com, donlemon.com. It's easy. And you can subscribe there very, very easily. It's a click of a button, and all you have to do is put your email in, and then you'll see what's on the homepage of the donlemon.com channel. So if you are watching us live on TikTok, thank you so much. You can watch us there. You can watch us actually on a number of different platforms, but I would suggest to you, if you really want the full nature of our show, the full vibrancy, you got to go to where? Don Lemon Show on YouTube. Go to YouTube and look for the Don Lemon Show. Click on subscribe, and you'll get the full frontal experience, as we say. Okay. Yes, please read the New York Times piece. I will, IBD. I read one of my things on Substack yesterday, and it was one of our highest rated lives. Did you guys see that, producers? Did you see the live that we did yesterday? It was, I showed you what we were doing over on Substack. Also on Substack, I have a new article that I put last night, and it is about what? I said the media has a Trump problem, is what it's called. Okay, I love your shirt color. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay, so let's go on and talk about what I am concerned about. And I am concerned about what has been happening to people who are human beings, whether they are full-fledged citizens of the United States, whether they are here on a visa, whether they're documented or undocumented, they deserve to be treated as human beings. They're not pawns. Some of them, many of them are not criminals, even though the government is lying about them being criminals. You heard what I said. Even though the government is lying about some of them being criminals, some of them being gang members, they're trying to criminalize immigrants, give you a picture of immigrants that they are criminals, and they are not. For the most part, native-born Americans, U.S. citizens, commit far more crime, violent or otherwise, than people who are immigrants, documented or undocumented. So if you're an immigrant in this country, which most Americans are, most people are, welcome, thank you, we love you. We don't believe that all of you are criminals, okay? Some of us, our ancestors, not immigrants, did not come here willingly. So we're immigrants in a different way, but didn't immigrate here voluntarily, okay? We were brought here as slaves, in shackles, in chains, and yet here we are. Here we are, trying to take advantage of all the opportunities that come to us in America, despite or in spite of the folks who are trying to take us back to another time. I don't know, whenever they think America was great, maybe that was without immigrants, which I don't know what that's the time. That would be Native Americans, and it would not be America. It would be, you know, native land. I don't know, another name if it was up to Native Americans who were here first. And then came the slaves who built the country for free. I'm just saying. And all of the other immigrants who came in, the Irish peasants, bunch of folks came in to help build this country. So why can't we all be here and tell the history of everyone, especially the Black folks, the slaves, the ancestors of our ancestors who built this country for free, and all the wealth and the riches that all of these land barons and oil companies and everybody, these people who have generational wealth, that was built on the backs of immigrants and slaves. So this is everyone's country. So welcome in everybody. You're all welcome to this nation, which is the Lemon Nation. The Lemon Nation, America should be built in the image of the Lemon Nation. This is what chaps my hide this morning. Let's put up, this is an article by The Atlantic. Did you guys hear about this bullshit? We have been showing you these people who have been taken off of the streets, okay? Who have really been abducted, who've really been kidnapped, have been abducted and kidnapped. Look at this. We told you about the makeup artist, right? The young gay man who, only because of a tattoo that and because he was an immigrant, they think that he is some sort of criminal, some sort of gang member. So they took him away to El Salvador in this prison camp. Horrific. No evidence that he was part of any sort of gang member doing anything illegally. And now you have someone who really wasn't. And finally, the government is admitting an administrative error, sends a Maryland father to an El Salvador or Salvadorian prison. The Trump administration says that it mistakenly deported an immigrant with protected status, but that courts are powerless to order his return. This is fucking outrageous. And if this doesn't chap your hide, if you want to understand why Cory Booker is doing what he's doing today, it's because of shit like this. It's because you don't hear enough about this in the media. It is because of our government is now lawless. The Trump administration acknowledged in a court filing Monday that it had grabbed a Maryland father with protected legal status and mistakenly deported him to El Salvador, but said that U.S. courts lacked jurisdiction to order his return from the mega prison where he is now locked up. So they mistakenly take him, abducted him, or kidnapped him, whatever you want to call it, They put him in a prison camp, which is like a work camp, and these horrible conditions. Wait till you hear about his family and what they took him away from. And now they're saying, oh, too bad. We can't bring him back. Screw him. It's got to stay. Okay, on next. It is outrageous. And what are we doing about it? At least Senator Booker is trying to do something. What are you doing about it? What are we doing about it? What are our elected officials doing about it? What are the courts doing about it? What is law enforcement doing about it? Remember, back the blue. What are they doing about it? You want folks to back you? Then you got to back other folks. You got to, I think some of these people just say, look, this is wrong. I know you gave me orders, but where's the due process? Where's the proof? The case appears to be the first time the Trump administration has admitted to errors when it sent 3 plane loads of Salvadorian and Venezuelan deportees to El Salvador's grim terrorism confinement center on March 15th. Attorneys for several Venezuelan deportees have said that the Trump administration falsely labeled their clients as gang members because of their tattoos. Trump officials have disputed those claims. But in Monday's court filing, attorneys for the government admitted that the Salvadorian man, his name is Kilmar Abrego Garcia, was deported accidentally, although ICE was aware of his protection from removal to El Salvador. Abrego Garcia was removed to El Salvador because of an administrative error, the government told the court. Trump lawyers said the court has no ability to bring him back now that Abrego Garcia is in Salvadorian custody. Outrageous. Imagine if this was your family member. How would you feel about it? Imagine if this is your father, your son, your uncle, whatever it is. Trump administration attorneys told the court to dismiss the request on multiple grounds. They wanted to bring him back. They said dismiss it. Abrego Garcia's attorney said that he'd never seen a case in which the government knowingly deported someone who had already received protected legal status from an immigration judge. They don't care. The cruelty is the point. They don't care. You have to make them care. You have to make them pay for this. They must be held accountable. People say that, I don't know, I don't believe if that marching and that protests are going to work. I don't know about that. The best way to protest, as we know right now, is what they're doing in Wisconsin today, in Florida today. And that's to get out and show them that you're going to vote them out if they continue to be lawless. Those are the levers at your disposal right now. That's what you can do. You can put pressure on your government and you can demand that they do something different. Demand something different. He is asking the court to order the Trump administration to ask for Abrego Garcia's return and, if necessary, to withhold payment to the Salvadoran government, which says it is charging the United States $6 million a year to jail U.S. deportees. You want to save some money, Doge? How about saving a couple of coins from that $6 million by making sure, right, that you are deporting the right people, that you are imprisoning or detaining the right people? Because that bill may not be that high if you don't have as many people there. If you did some due process, you would understand and realize that not everyone you're deporting is a criminal. I know not everyone they're deporting is a criminal. They know it, but they don't want to show you the proof because they know it. They want it to be this big giant thing, right? This big giant thing. All of these people, look what we're doing, because it's a show of force. It is a show. This is the celebrity immigration reality show, Celebrity Immigration Apprentice. Trump administration attorneys told the court to dismiss the request on multiple grounds, including that Trump's primacy in foreign affairs outweighs the interests of Abrego Garcia and his family. So the president's interest, which which is bullshit. It outraised the interests of a family and someone who was deported illegally, someone who has rights because of your whim, what you think something is and you haven't proven it. That outweighs it? Are you kidding me? They claim the court is powerless to order any relief. If that's true, the immigration laws are meaningless. All of them, the attorney says, because the government can deport whoever they want, whenever they want, and no court can do anything about it once it is done. That's bullshit. That should not happen in America. The court filings show that he came to the United States at 16 in 2011 after fleeing gang threats in his native El Salvador. In 2019, he received a form of protected legal status known as withholding of removal from the U.S. immigration judge who found that he would likely be targeted by gangs if deported back. Now they're going to deport him back to danger. Come on, guys. This isn't what America is about. Is this who we've become? We're being cruel just to prove a point, just to be cruel. We're being mean and nasty. That's not what America's about. Mr. Straight Facts No Chaser shouted out last night, Don, in community. Demetrius Cephas, what is that? Thank you for your support. Thank you, Kay Benton, for your support as well. Yeah, I'm going to say it. He came here at 16 fleeing gang violence. What they are probably, that was the predicate to deport him. It's just so ridiculous. The irony in all this, that he came here fleeing all of that to be protected, and now they're going to send him back to it, right in the beast of the belly. The man is married to a U.S. citizen. He has a 5-year-old disabled child who is also a U.S. citizen. He has no criminal record in the United States. That's according to his attorney. The Trump administration does not claim he has a criminal record, but they called him a danger to the community just because they wanted to. They're trying to come up with something outrageous. This is what I'm pissed off about. Imagine, I can't say this enough. Imagine if this was you or your family member. All of a sudden, you're just sitting in your home, you're in your car, you're walking down the street, you're on the bus, you whatever, and then boom, they just take you. This man has a disabled child at home. He has no criminal record, according to the attorney. The government is saying, oh, we're not saying that he is a criminal. He's a danger to the community and an active member of MS-13, the Salvadorian gang that Trump has declared a foreign terrorist organization with no proof. So they can say, here's the thing. This is what they're doing. Let me tell you what they're doing. They're saying, okay, this guy's a member of a gang. They're doing that. This woman, this guy is a member of a terroristic organization. Oh, they have ties to let's say Hamas. They have ties to, let's say, some MS-13. They have ties to this. They have ties to that. And then once they deport them without any due process, they ask them for the due process. And then the judge says, well, there is none. And then they find out it was an error. What do they say? Sorry, we have no obligation nor any means or methods of bringing them back. Sorry, too bad, so sad. That means they're lawless and they don't care. That means that Mushmouth Holman doesn't care. That means that Orange Trump doesn't care. That they're just going to do whatever they want, and they can take your loved ones, yourself, off the streets and be abducted for any reason. Now, listen, don't get me wrong or anybody wrong. Nobody's condoning gang violence or criminal activity. What they're saying is that what? If the bad people, if you think these people are bad and they are part of a gang, then show the proof before you go out and you do it. This is, again, outrageous, not charged with a crime at all. This is our friends over at the Midas Touch talking about what is happening. Here it is.
Somehow this story just keeps getting worse and worse. We are now learning additional information about the people who Donald Trump essentially abducted and sent to an El Salvadoran prison camp. Well, as Yoni Applebaum reports in a new court filing this evening, the Trump administration said that it had mistakenly deported a Maryland father to the El Salvadoran prison camp due to a, quote, administrative error. The article goes on to say in Monday's court filing, attorneys for the government admitted that the Salvadoran man, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, was deported accidentally. Quote, although ICE was aware of his protection from removal to El Salvador, Abrego Garcia was removed to El Salvador because of an administrative error, the government told the court. Trump lawyers said the court has no ability to bring him back now that Abrego Garcia is in Salvadoran custody. So not only did they send this innocent man to an El Salvadoran prison camp, essentially these concentration camps they have set up in El Salvador, but they are refusing to bring him back to the United States. And this follows a whole host of other stories that we have heard about people being sent to this prison camp, even though they were here legally because of tattoos. Like one of these people had a tattoo that said mom. One of these people had an autism awareness tattoo. One of these people had a Real Madrid tattoo. But the Trump administration did not let those facts get in the way of their story, of their scam, of their atrocious, immoral, illegal actions. We're going to make sure we're highlighting all the crimes that they are committing and everything this horrific administration is doing. So make sure to follow our account and add the Midas Touch podcast right now on Apple Podcasts.
Over at Midas Touch. So follow our friends. You know how to get the folks over at Midas Touch. Again, those are our friends over there. And we're mutual. It's a mutual admiration society between us. That's how outrageous. Now, do you know how outrageous this is? Let me tell you, there are Republicans, and I believe maybe even more Republicans. Okay. There are Republicans and there are people who are Trump supporters. Remember Joe Rogan. Let's talk about Joe Rogan, because Joe Rogan did what? He endorsed Donald Trump during the election, right? I don't know if that would make Joe Rogan MAGA or whatever, but he endorsed Donald Trump during the election. Now, you think like, oh, they should be, that Joe Rogan would be saying something like, oh yeah, they should be rounding up these people. They're evil. They're whatever. I want you to listen to, okay, have a seat. And I want you to sit back. And especially if you are MAGA, sit back MAGA. Sit back MAGA. And I want you to listen to this. Okay. And think about it. This is Joe Rogan. Watch.
Also when mistakes get made.
Right.
And I think a human being being plucked out of nowhere and ending up in a country he's never been in a maximum security prison with gang members, seems like a bad thing to happen to me.
It's horrific. It's horrific.
I don't think that should be controversial.
No, that's not controversial at all. And this is the thing, measured twice, cut once.
Mm.
Yeah.
This is kind of crazy. That could be possible. That's horrific, and that's bad for the cause. Like, the cause is, let's get the gang members out. Everybody agrees. But let's not innocent gay hairdressers get lumped up with the gangs, and then, like, how long before that guy can get out? Can we figure out how to get him out? Is there any plan in place to alert the authorities that they've made a horrible mistake and correct it?
Well, if you think about it from a government perspective, and this is where I think it gets quite sinister, is once you've done that, the incentive structure is never going to be to admit that and deal with it. The incentive structure is to say nothing, to cover it up, to pretend it didn't happen. Right?
That is horrible.
So someone ends up in a black hole.
Okay, two things there. He's right about the incentive structure is the reason that they don't want him to come back is because it's hard to sue someone, the government, if you're in El Salvador. It's hard to go on the press and give your story with your disabled child and for America to go, oh shit, this is fucked up. That's hard to do. There's no incentive to bring him back. That person, that gentleman, whoever he is absolutely 100% right. There's no incentive structure. And then once they realize that they can do it, they will keep doing it, because if they start bringing them back, they'll go, shit, why are they bringing them back? They're defeating the purpose of the show, the deportation, a celebrity apprentice that we're putting on for the American people and for the world. So they don't want to bring him back because they don't want him to sue. They don't want him to tell his story. They don't want that. There's no incentive structure. Now, here's the other thing. Look, this may seem like it's a backhanded whatever insult. It's not. I'm not insulting him. because I love that at least Joe Rogan is like going, okay, well, wait, this is fucked up. This is wrong. But are you just realizing that after you endorsed and supported Donald Trump that he would do something like this? He told you he was going to do it. So why are you surprised? Like, oh my God, this is wrong. I can't believe. And is there anything? No. You helped to elect the lawless president. So it's great. While I think it's great that you are, I just shouldn't say great. While I am, what's the word? I am encouraged that at least now you're coming to your senses and understanding the severity of electing someone like a Donald Trump, this MAGA, with this MAGA mindset. This is a fuck around and find out moment for everyone, because all of the people who are saying, look, this isn't about politics. It's not about right or left. Donald Trump is a lawless criminal. And why would you elect him, put him back into the presidency after he lied about a stolen election, after he was found guilty of all of these things, after all of the lies and all of the lawless things that he's done? Why would you put him back in the White House? So good on you, finally, Joe Rogan, but this is who Donald Trump is. So I'm like, when someone says, oh my God, no, is there? No, he told you he was going to deport. How do you think you do? You think you can deport as many people as he said he's going to deport without making some errors or mistakes? Did you actually think that he was going to abide by the rule of law or the Constitution, and that would be due process? Wanda 53 says Joe Rogan is fake caring. I don't know if he's fake caring or not, but at least he said it. That could be fake caring. I don't know. I don't think it was fake caring, but I don't think Joe Rogan is that naive. Joe Rogan, are you that naive that you believed that there would be some due process under a Trump administration? Doesn't Joe Rogan live in Texas and full of immigrants in Austin, Texas? So yes, too late. It's too late. Now, I think the bulwark over our friends over there, I think they feel similarly, except they're saying, they believe, I think Joe Rogan is speaking with moral clarity. I think he's speaking with some moral naivety right now. Naivete, because you should have known this before. We told you, people told you, don't do this. Do you think I was in love with the choices that we had for the election? But what did I say to you? There's one side that believes in democracy. There's another side that doesn't believe in democracy, that doesn't follow the laws, that gaslights people, that lies. And then there's another side who's, okay, we believe in democracy. They're not perfect. Or maybe you think they're too woke, but you can work with the other side. Hey, you can say, other side, stop being so woke or we're going to put you out or whatever. I hate that word. It's been co-opted, but you know what I mean. And then there's the other side. It's like, we're just going to do whatever we want, whether it's the law or not. We're not going to follow the legislature. What legislature? We don't care. And let's not get into Signalgate. You didn't know that they were that dumb, that he was going to appoint people to office who were that flawed and that stupid that they would be on an encrypted app that can be tapped into by our adversaries? Of course you knew something like that would happen. I don't think people were shocked. It's laughable that they were doing it. But here are our friends over at the Bulwark. By the way, hit the thumbs up, please. It affects the algorithm. More people get to be aware of us. And we appreciate it. The engagement this morning is great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The Bulwark talking about Joe Rogan and also calling out Democrats, as I said, who very few of them have said anything. You have Cory Booker there now, and you have some of them, they are following the lead of Cory Booker. They're drafting off of him. But Democrats, where are you? What the fuck are you doing? Why are you so quiet? What are you so afraid of? What are you doing? Here it is.
It's bad for the cause. Like, the cause is, let's get the gang members out. Everybody agrees. But let's not innocent gay hairdressers get lumped up with the gangs. And then is there any plan in place to alert the authorities that they've made a horrible mistake and correct it?
More moral clarity and emotion from Joe Rogan. we've seen from basically anyone in elected office. And obviously, fuck the Republicans. None of the Republicans have said anything. Not only that, they're doing their sadistic photo shoots with the people that they've kidnapped. So
Right on.
just stated, F them. So I sent a tweet. I was just like, could people please send me any examples of Democrats saying or putting out a statement about the Venezuelan refugees that we've sent to this fucking hellhole? Debbie Wasserman Schultz put out a pretty good statement. I'm blanking on her name. There's a congresswoman from Texas put out a pretty good statement. A bunch of people sent me examples of Democrats speaking out about Ozturk. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I think people feel more comfortable about what's happening on campuses and free speech. And that's great. The situation with Tufts is horrible. But that was it. Those two were the only ones I've seen. I know we've got Dems listening to this right now. It's like, what is the holdup on this? Like, why? What is there about this that makes it that allows Joe Rogan to speak with moral clarity about how horrific it is, but it doesn't allow you to? I truly don't understand. Want to see more of this video? Head to the.
So they're on a similar page than us. A similar page. I think that. When I say that Republicans are speaking out, I mean at those town halls, because it's not just Democrats at those town halls around the country. You remember the Republican leadership has said, don't do it. Halt, stop. We don't want to hear from those people, right? Lying, lies, and more lies on top of lies. Check out this tweet from Gertz about what's going on. There's about the incentive to keep him in El Salvador. Okay, this is Matthew Gertz. Matthew Gertz says, a sick thing about this is that the administration has an immense incentive to keep him in the hell prison so he can't publicly describe what happened to him and sue the government for a massive sum. That's what I said. And then it goes on to talk about the ACLU is filing, sheds light. The ACLU is filing sheds light on how Andre, the gay makeup artist, sent to rot in a prison in El Salvador, ended up labeled a Tren de Aragua by ICE. And so all of them, there is no incentive to bring these people back who were not mistakenly or on purpose, I'm not sure. Well, they purposely rounded them up. But there's no incentive structure because they don't want them to tell their story and they don't want to be sued. And the chances of them doing it from another country, then they can say he has no standing here, therefore your lawsuit can be thrown out. These people are fucking lawless. Lawless. This is J.D. Vance's response to the Atlantic reporting. Oh my God, this dude. This man, look, let me tell you, I've met J.D. Vance a number of times. I interviewed him when I was on CNN a number of times. Never Trumper. Hillbilly elegy. Donald Trump is akin to, as he said, Shitler is what he said. I've always been a never Trump guy. I never liked him. He is this, he's terrible, whatever. And then it's like, no, I love him. My comment is that according to the court document you apparently didn't read, he was convicted. He was a convicted MS-13 gang member with no legal right to be here. My further comment is that it's gross to get fired up about gang members getting deported while ignoring citizens they victimize. That was in response to John Favreau over at the Pod Save America. Any comment on this, Marco Rubio? How about you, J.D. Vance? How about you, Elon Musk? You just admitted to accidentally sending an innocent father from Maryland to a torture dungeon in El Salvador, and you refuse to do anything about it. The Atlantic. Atlantic is doing good reporting. Remember, even before the Jeffrey Goldberg thing, I tell you guys remember, tell me if I'm wrong, how I said the Atlantic was really great and they did some really great reporting. Remember, I told you that. And they are still doing great reporting. Now, remember this. Okay? They have said it was an administrative error. And J.D. Vance is still saying that this guy was a criminal. J.D. Vance, what the fuck, dude? This is how Twitter responded to J.D. Vance, calling him a liar. Bill Crystal, your comment, JD Vance, is a lie. Joshua Reed, Eckel, liar. Brett Mysalis over from the Midas Touch. Now that you've been shown proof that everything you said is a lie, what are you doing? What are you going to do about it? You've committed a crime against humanity. You should be prosecuted by the Hague. You've torn a family apart and sent an innocent person here legally to get tortured in an El Salvador prison. Pardon me, Harry Sisson, you're a lying sack of crap. He was not convicted of anything. He had a protected status and was granted that by a judge. Ahmad Domolowski says, God, you are such a reprehensive fucking liar. They're not wrong.
Don, you're muted.
What happened? Did I mute you just that second? How much did you guys hear? Did you hear the tweet where I said the guy said you're fucking lying? I guess you did, right?
We got that. Yeah. It was
Okay. So let's check in with our friend Cory Booker, who is still on the Senate floor, still filibustering, still trying to, I believe he's going to break the record. I think that was set by who?
I was amazed that my efforts in Monmouth
Who was
County
it
were having
again?
such
Not Robert Byrd,
meaningful
but
and real impact on a crime.
In the morning right now, and Senator Cory Booker is.
No, I was sent. This is the live.
Could I actually turn this into a career? Could I help even more people across the world? I'd like to think I did that. I'd like to think I did that. And I'm crying as I write this because I wonder if I ever will do it again. The past 10 years, I've focused on conflict prevention, stabilization, preventing, countering violent extremism, and citizen security in conflict or post-conflict areas. Not only did I conduct desk research and analyze problem sets from behind a desk, but I got to travel to those countries and meet with local governments, civil society organizations, and advocacy groups to hear from them about the issues and discuss solutions. I spoke with survivors of the devastating 2004 tsunami in Sri Lanka and Tamils whose fathers and brothers disappeared during the Civil War and are likely burned in unmarked graves somewhere on the island. I worked closely with a woman my age whose families fled Kosovo to the United States during the war when we were about 9 years old and returned as soon as she could to her home country to promote continued peace between Albanians and Serbs. My recent trips to Kosovo were so illuminating, not because of the pain or struggle of these people, but because of the respect and admiration and gratitude they had towards the United States of America. Anyone who has been to Pristina knows of the Bill Clinton and Bob Dole statues. I didn't know about that. As well as the Hillary Boutique. A few years ago, when I was negotiating an employment offer with a Ghanaian candidate for a USAID funded preventing
that
violent
is Senator
extremism
Cory
program,
Booker. Turn the volume down, please, a little bit. That is Senator Cory Booker on the Senate floor. He has been going now for 16 hours plus. And let us know in the comments what you think about it. Hero, is it enough? He's crying now. He has COVID, someone says. I don't know about that. But he is crying now because he's telling his story and what it took for him to get there and what he's trying to do now. So look, I think that you've got to start somewhere. You got to do something. I believe Cory Booker is doing that. I'm going to try to get him on. Sometime. I'm sure he's going to be a very busy man, a very sought after man. He has been on our show. He is a friend of the Don Lemon Show. And we're going to try to get him on. But there you go. Do it, Booker, people are saying. An effing machine. He's been going again for 16 hours, bringing attention to it. I think you need to support him, okay? So, also, thank you for supporting independent media. All of our new members, thank you so much. For Paul Campbell, for your very generous support of independent media. I want to welcome Val W. as a new member. Welcome to the Lemon Nation. And again, thank you everyone for your support. Make sure you hit the like, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Follow us on all of our platforms. The big show is right here on the YouTube, and the membership link is at the top of the chat. You can become a member. Go to donlemon.com if you want more information, especially if you want to be a part of the Substack. Go check out donlemon.com, donlemon.com. Also, subscribe right here. It's right at the bottom of the chat, right next to the Don Lemon Show logo. You can hit subscribe. It is free, okay? So we appreciate your support. Cory Booker, go, go, go. I'm going to see you back here live at 5 p.m. Eastern on the Don Lemon Show, okay? So get your comments ready. Let me know. I want to tell you, sorry, I did not get to as much as I wanted to about what's happening throughout the day, but if you're in Wisconsin, go vote. If you're in Florida, go vote. And get ready for those tariffs tomorrow and a possible stock market that you will not be happy about. I hope it doesn't happen, but get ready, okay? And welcome Chasing Jamie as a new member. Thank you all so much. All right, and as I say, every time I log off, you guys know, every time I log off my live, what do I say? There you go. See you at 5 p.m. Eastern, okay? Turn this TV off. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never, ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next time.